In the heart of Umwakwe, a small rural community surrounded by lush green hills and thick palm trees, lived a young girl named Ada. She was 14 years old, with strikingly bright eyes and a laugh that once filled her family compound with joy. But over the past few years, Ada's life had been marked by fear and isolation. It began one afternoon while she was helping her mother peel cassava under the mango tree in their compound. Ada suddenly dropped the knife she was holding. Her body stiffened and she collapsed to the ground. Her limbs began to shake uncontrollably. Her eyes rolled back and foam spilled from her mouth. Her mother, Nkechi, screamed in terror, calling for her husband and neighbors. When the episode ended, Ada lay unconscious for several minutes before slowly regaining her senses. She looked up at the frightened faces of her family and neighbors, confused and exhausted. In the days that followed, rumors began to spread through the village. Ada is an ogbanje, some whispered. To the Igbo people, ogbanje were believed to be evil spirits that entered families to cause grief and suffering, often through the death of children or mysterious illnesses. Elders in the community recalled similar cases. "It is not ordinary," said one elder, shaking her head solemnly. "She must be taken to the diviner before it is too late." Ada's father, Okeke, a deeply traditional man, was torn between love for his daughter and fear of what the villagers were saying. "We cannot let her bring shame to this family," he told Nkechi one night. "If the diviner can help, we must go." Over the next several months, Ada was taken to every spiritual healer, diviner, and prophet her parents could find. In one shrine, the diviner tied a red cloth around Ada's waist and performed rituals with a calabash filled with kola nuts, feathers, and chalk. "The spirit in her is stubborn," the diviner said, shaking his head. "You must make more sacrifices." In a Pentecostal church on the outskirts of the community, Ada was subjected to hours of intense prayers and fasting. The pastor shouted, "Holy Ghost fire," as he laid hands on her trembling body. Despite their efforts, Ada's episodes continued. Each time, the villagers grew more convinced that she was cursed. Ada's life became a living nightmare. She stopped going to school because her classmates would run away from her or mock her behind her back. Her once close friends now avoided her. Even her younger siblings were forbidden to play with her. Nkechi cried herself to sleep most nights, her heart heavy with guilt and helplessness. "What did I do to deserve this?" she often asked aloud. One fateful day, Chinedu, the son of one of the village elders, returned to Umwakwe after many years in Lagos. Chinedu had left the village as a young boy, driven by a passion for education. Now he was a qualified medical doctor, specializing in neurology. The villagers gathered to celebrate his return, proud of the boy who had brought honor to their small community. During the gathering, Chinedu noticed Ada sitting alone under a tree, her face clouded with sadness. "That's Ada," one of the elders explained when Chinedu asked about her, "the one with the ogbanje spirit." Intrigued and skeptical, Chinedu asked to know more. He listened carefully as the villagers recounted Ada's episodes and the various spiritual interventions her family had pursued. Chinedu's medical training quickly led him to suspect that Ada's condition might not be spiritual at all. The next morning, Chinedu visited Ada's family. "Papa Ada, I've heard about your daughter," he began. "With your permission, I'd like to examine her. I believe her condition can be treated medically." Okeke frowned. "Doctor, we have tried everything. It is a spiritual matter. Even the diviner said so." Chinedu smiled gently. "I understand why you might think that, but please allow me to try something different. I promise there is no harm in it." Reluctantly, Okeke agreed. Over the next few days, Chinedu observed Ada closely. He asked her family about her medical history and examined her during one of her episodes. It didn't take long for him to confirm his suspicion. Ada had epilepsy, a neurological disorder that caused recurrent seizures. Chinedu gathered the villagers in the square one evening. "My people," he began, "I have heard your concerns about Ada, but I must tell you, she is not an ogbanje. What she has is a medical condition called epilepsy. It is not caused by spirits or witchcraft, and it can be managed with proper treatment." The villagers murmured among themselves, skeptical but curious. "Doctor," one elder asked, "if it is not spiritual, why has no one been able to help her?" "Because it has been misunderstood," Chinedu explained. "Epilepsy is a condition of the brain, With the right medicine and care, Ada can live a normal life. He went on to describe the science behind epilepsy, using simple terms and metaphors the villagers could understand. Gradually, their fear began to give way to understanding. Chinedu arranged for Ada to start treatment at a nearby hospital. With medication and support, her seizures became less frequent and less severe. For the first time in years, Ada felt like herself again. The villagers, too, began to change their perspective. They apologized to Ada and her family for the stigma and isolation they had endured. Chinedu's intervention not only saved Ada's life, but also educated the community about the importance of seeking medical help for health issues. Ada returned to school, her confidence slowly rebuilding. Inspired by Chinedu, she dreamed of becoming a doctor herself, determined to help others who face similar challenges. Her story became a turning point for Umuokwe. The villagers, once bound by superstition, began to embrace knowledge and science, realizing that not every mystery needed a spiritual E. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the story so far, please drop a comment below, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification to get more updates. Thank you.